Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Silver
Never
Anna.
stop fighting
If you
for
guys
what
are
you
enjoying the
believe in.
content, you
I
can
never thought
like
I'd
and
see this
subscribe
place
below.
again.
That does help out quite a bit, and I do
Attackers
appreciate it. Or if
incoming
you are
in
looking to
30
get coaching
seconds.
yourself, you can join the Discord in the description. Down there you can see what rates look like for coaching, promos, special events, other interesting topics we cover. If you want to be able to catch those live, you can become a watcher in the Discord. Here we go, Silver Anna review.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
The
barrier.
Stop the payload.
For your safety, I have located the enemy.
You're playing as Anna, you have Brig as your partner support, you're playing a very poke-heavy comp, works for me.
Get back in the fight.
Sure, you can challenge her through barriers. You can re-challenge the Widow or no? Right idea. A little dicey to stay here though, you don't have those barriers up anymore. Okay, your team is back, you can't still be here. I know she's weak, but you can't still be here. Okay, you do need to rotate. You can't stay here. They're likely to come over the top on this map and potentially punish you. They might rotate up here. They might come up here like this. The Widow coming up here was very predictable. You can't stay here. You had a moment where you could have sort of walked across this to get down and be over here, and that would have been fine. Or you could have said, okay, they're stable. Maybe I'm even going to invest in nade as much as I hate it while I rotate through here and get back to here type thing. Like something to just be like, let me get them back up in a hurry, and then they sort of have their health that they can spend while I'm rotating if I need to. But the priority was to rotate before the fight got serious. Now you can't really rotate because the enemies are going to be pushing them. Yep. Oh look, the Widow showed up. And now you've dropped yourself right into the fight. And this is really sort of the last thing that we wanted to do. So we're here.
Sniper!
I do like that you're trying to do things like put pressure on the Tracer. You're doing a good job of that. No one really desperately needs the heals, so you go for that. I don't love this.
Healing enhanced.
I can live with the fact that you were trying for the purple there.
You're going to be okay.
Anyone need some cold
Sure.
refreshment? Observe the barrier.
Let it be. Don't get pulled into a bad position. We're a poke team with no angles. It hurts. So you don't really want to stand here. We don't really consider barriers reliable cover because we never know when Orisa's going to redeploy her barrier, when Sigma's going to pull back his barrier. So like here, yes, you had the double barrier, you punished the Widow a bit. That was fine with me, but you don't want to long-term be trusting barriers. You want cover that you can control, like a corner you can control, high ground that you can control by backing up and crouching. So where does your cover here become? Well, you might be thinking, oh, well, I could play here. This is a corner. We don't really like this one because the opponent's, the strongest position on this entire map is actually this blue box up here. This blue box area up here that I'm about to highlight is the strongest position on the map. And if they come through here, they can just shoot you from above and now you have nowhere to go. They can also come through here if they've come through the high ground, which is the better place for them to control, which would threaten you if you were holding here. And even if they went low ground, which is a bad push, someone could break off and come this way and threaten you. So we don't actually like to hold this. Now we could hold back up here, but there's not time for you to rotate to there. So your actual hold location becomes here. Yes, they still have the option to rotate through here, but you get a lot of warning if they do that, and they have to rotate through this open space right here. This open space, unlike this protected space that they'd be able to rotate through where your team can't really shoot at them until they're ready to shoot you from above. So given that, your best positions are either like back here-ish, but these take forever to get to, and you don't really have time, or here, where you can go, oh, I don't like it, I can close the angle and still heal my team. I want to get offensive, I can open the angle and shoot a bit and still close the angle very defensively, very good. Oh, you could take a flank right at me? Yeah, but I'm going to have a warning system on that, and you're probably going to get chipped down by pressure if you try to rotate across that open space. Yes, they do have the better option of going through here, dropping like this, and immediately going in and taking very little chip, but for most heroes, that's going to require using some sort of mobility to get up here or an incredibly long rotation that you're just not going to see very often. So this is really the spot that you want to rotate to rather than playing in the open here. I think you're playing on your team because you're like, maybe they can protect me, like the McCree can protect me from the Tracer type thing, my tanks will protect me and it'll be good. Forget that. We don't rely on our team that heavily. We instead rely more on our positioning. Yes, we might move closer to our team as like the Tracer gets closer, but that's not our first concern. We don't just go, oh, team is security blanket. No, we take good positioning where we can control the level of threat on us. Aggressive. You can nade them from behind, right? Your nade will go through your barriers. Okay. Use the barrier. There's a barrier right there. That's for you. This barrier is here so that you can dance on it. You can step through it, and he comes through it, and you step through it again. It's so that you can barrier dance to mess up this Genji. Because you can shoot through this barrier, no problem. It doesn't hurt or change your shot at all. If he has to constantly deal with you switching sides, he can't really get shurikens on you. And it messes him up a lot. It's a huge advantage for this duel, and this is literally why this Orisa threw it up here. And you instead go, no, I'm going to try and run in a circle around the car. That's not what we want. Better. But you don't want to actually get far from the barrier. You want to stay right on the barrier where you can very easily pop to either side of it. This is called shield dancing. It's an essential skill for Orisas, Winstons, but you should still know it because, hey, it's relevant. You should especially know it as Xana's because Winstons will use it against you. Here's your chance to use it on someone else.
What's a get up? Nano boost is ready to deploy.
I can live with that reload. You can heal him. Okay. Right idea. Not try to spend both, but right idea to send that sleep, even if it was a little rushed. Sure. See how Orisa did this? Orisa gets stuck, knows she's in some trouble, pops her Fortify to survive it, and now is staying, on her shield. Oh, Tracer's right here? Great. My shield, gonna stay close to my shield, but in the direction where the shield protects her. Well done. And she did that, and if Tracer had blinked through, she'd have just been nope, single step. 2 steps, and she's through type thing. That would have been what she's doing. And then as soon as she's dealt with it, she flips it, and now her shield is useful against this direction again. Essential skill there. So, won't come up super often for you defensively as Ana, but still worth knowing.
I need healing.
You're covered.
Okay, so if you've got time, if you have a bunch of time between team fights, you really do want to do your rotation and get control back up here or up here. This is better than the spot I've been telling you to take, which is to the left here. This is garbage. We don't want to be here at all. Hey, Super Kashiako. Haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you've been well.
Get in there. I'm on fire. Keep out of my way.
You do have time. You do have time if you want to rotate to a better spot. Now you don't, and you have to play from here. Oh, good. I'm glad you're good. I'm good, too.
They're almost out of time. We'll stop them here and now.
So usually you would have used that halt.
They're almost out of time. We'll
This
stop
halt
them here
means you're
and
going to
now.
aim in such a way, you actually want to aim at the outside of this halt, somewhere around here. And with how Tracer works, you probably would have aimed here initially, and you would have flicked as you saw she adjusted, because this is where she'd get pulled to when the ult activates, except she moved, which is fine. And when she went left like that, you'd have adjusted your aim over to here, because this is about where you expect her to end up. You can use the halts to somewhat reliably predict where they're going to be. She used recall, which is fine. Good trade. You going to get a nade up there? Make them unhappy when they advance? There's a beautiful nade to be had there. Like, I don't even care about the Zarya bubble. That Zarya bubble might be gone by the time your nade gets there. It won't be, but it might be. And, like, you know there's a McCree and a Tracer back there, too. We would be interested in that nade. Okay. That's fine. Now you're going to have to rotate to the worst spot, which is over here, but you're probably going to do it because you don't want to be near the Kree. You know, you can pocket your Kree instead. Sure, he's taken care of. Turn immediately. Turn immediately. There's a fight going on. Good. Can you sleep him? Can you sleep him? Oh, that's yours. Yeah, minor detail. Minor detail. Still a red versus blue thing with teams where colors are inconsistent. Do you go on a trip this summer, Tom? Do I go on a trip this summer? I mean, I'm heading up to a friend's wedding pretty soon here. But I don't think I have, like, a serious trip planned. Like a, oh, go just relax for a week or two type thing. Oh, a face of disappointment? Oh, was my O in response to him getting eliminated, or are you saying I was disappointed at my lack of summer plans? I'm okay without summer plans, like, I'm good. Oh, when Anna got eliminated, yeah. You gonna, no, pull it. So here's the thing. Like, they're coalescing, sure, but you have Rally and Visor going, and yeah, you could go, hey, we're gonna nano Visor because it makes Visor better, but like, you already have Rally going. That's quite a bit better than Coalescence. I'm not too worried about this fight. I don't really want to nano this. That said, you don't have amazing nano targets on this team, so I'm gonna forgive it. But I don't love it. Like, even with the Soldier Visoring here, I'd probably say, no, I think we're fine. I think we're winning. But, hey, good enough.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Oh, and then you went with a Rally Brig, Nano Brig. I like that, but she wasn't being aggressive enough to justify that. No sleep? No nade there? Like, here you are.
You're powered up. Get in there.
This is free. This is the freest free there ever was. Purples, win. You could sleep him in the back instead, but I'd take the purple right here. If Zarya double bubbles as a result of that, no problem. Fine with you. Yes, they have Fireworks July, Spooky October, and whole of December Xmas. Last Xmas I gave you my heart. Okay, okay. Oh, do you have holidays in the USA? Yeah, we have holidays. And that was what Game Buster was giving examples of. Yes, fair enough. Okay, but you didn't really need to push in here. Like, you can just throw the nade. Just throw the nade. I don't need to get close to this fight. I'm more okay getting close to this fight now that we've got one additional elimination. And, like, yes, you're staying close to your Brig. Was Rally going? So, like, it's not the end of the world, but I just don't see a good reason to walk into this fight until about now. Now you're up enough that you're probably okay, but there just wasn't a good reason to take the risk to give them the chance to be able to flip the fight back. That's not really what we want to do. We want to reliably close out the fight.
This will only hurt her. I'm a fighter.
You have to sing the "Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart" part. You can't just read it out loud. How's that, Game Buster?
Need Healing. Just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Team, bring up here.
Enemy spotted.
Yes, like that. Thank you. You're welcome.
Meet your strike.
60 seconds.
Give me time out.
So we're looking at this.
Seconds remaining.
We have both of our abilities. We have both of our abilities.
Meet your strike.
Are they going to give us an opening to do something interesting? Well, we don't have an opening to hit the Doomfist here yet, but this starts to look like an opening. Can we get a nade into that? Like, look at this. We throw a nade in here. We maybe protect our ally. We almost certainly get the Doomfist. Maybe we get the Tracer. This looks like a pretty reasonable nade right here. Now, you're still going to lose him because Pulse Bomb, but, like, this is the sort of thing that you're just looking for. Like, your nade sense should be tingling of, like, oh, get a nade off into this. That wasn't the moment to hit the Doomfist. There's moments to hit Doomfist with Sleep Dart. You can try to hit this if you want, because if he goes for any sort of fist pump shot here, you'll get him with the Sleep Dart. The other option, and the more reliable option, is he's uppercutting. So you can already be pressing your Sleep Dart button, and he's going to have hang time on his Sleep Dart, on his uppercut here. And this time you might have been protected well enough, though not really, because you're back far enough that you can shoot him in the foot. You know, shooting people in the foot is, of course, the right way to make them go to sleep. So, like, that's the moment that you're looking for your sleep. When he goes for that uppercut, you know he's going to have hang time without great control of his movement like that. And you were just too late to start it, because remember, your sleep has a wind-up, a cast time to it.
You're going to
My strategy for using cooldowns is just counting out loud to keep track of them, and before cooldown is finished, I want to already know where I'm going to use it, if there's an option. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily do it like that. Like, it does give you a sound effect when something comes off of cooldown, but yeah, you should have some sense of it's about to come off. You should have a pretty good internalized metronome for when is this cooldown coming back. And yeah, you can count to start if you want. Case of purples in a team fight, there is very likely always a good opportunity now rather than later when you think, well, this would be a nice nade. Yeah, team fights, you can generally find fairly early pretty good nades. You don't need the perfect nade. Pretty good purple nades, that is. Again, like, I'd throw a nade at this. Try to get 3 targets, even if Reinhardt shields, probably get 2 of them. Works for me. Did you have to reload there? I guess. And by I guess, I mean yes, but... Yeah, like, you fell behind too much in this fight, and then you're like, maybe the nade can help get us back into it. No, you needed to not fall that behind, and the way to not fall that behind was to get pressure on them earlier with, like, the offensive nade. Temporals keeps the scarf in the middle of summer. That's commitment to his craft. Thank you. I'm glad you recognize and appreciate my commitment to my craft. Ha! No, I'm not sick. This is garbage, and there's not much you can do about it. You've got bad spawn. Generally better and faster to just go off the edge, but I don't mind.
Bad guys, heads up.
Nano. You're powered up. Get in there.
Don't walk into it. Weave that nade past. Okay.
I have your back. I'm on fire.
Reload. Reload.
60 seconds remaining.
Enemies in our orbit.
Well, this is nice, guys. This player has the opposite problem that we usually run into with Annas. Instead of, like, hey, excessive reloads, reloading in the middle of combat when it doesn't make sense, they're just like, nope, I will wait 10 seconds between combat and stay at 5 ammo. Oof, okay. It's a change, at least. There's our reload. Little later than I'd have liked, but hey. Good! And you no. You did want to instantly be healing your McCree in case he takes damage. Exactly. And now you're just like, oh, let me just dump a nade into this. Just dump a nade into this and your team wins right here and now. You don't need to heal people. You need an offensive nade. You waited too long. And you didn't need to drop for it. Look for the sleep. Oh, you don't have it quite yet because you used it poorly, right? Get out, get out, get out. You don't need to be this in the middle of the fight to heal it. You're going to struggle more to heal the fight. You do not have to be close to the fight to use cooldowns into it. Keep some distance. Yeah. Oh, reloaditis. Okay, super. It was a nice sleep on the Doomfist, yes. Look for the nade. You just needed to knock hit by the fire strike there.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو
The nade is still your friend. Too late. Oh, this cap never should have happened. Okay, let's see how the offense goes. You have some issues where you really spend too much time in close to fights. We want you to take your defensive spots, your angles that you can use where you choose whether you're healing your team or shooting at the opponents. You tend to get too close to fights. And then when you're close in fights, like you have an easy time getting nades and sleeps off, and that's good. Getting your nades and sleeps off, I'm okay with that. But I want you to look even when you're further from fights for your nades, especially. Really for both, but for your nades here. Because you really only seem to think about your nade when you're in close, brawling effectively in the fight. And that's not our ideal situation as Anna. We want to go ahead and not be in the middle of fights unless we're just cleaning up a fight that we've hugely already won. And again, our solution to getting nades off is not get closer to fights, it's take an angle. If you're on an angle, that means their Rhine Shield will be defending against most of your team. So like you're in a situation where their Rhine Shield is here, they're here, your team is here shooting at them, and you're over here. And it's a little easier to slip the nade past when you're at an angle like that. Or you're back here, and you slip it past type thing.
Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Use your heads out there. We get through this. Use your heads out there. We get through this.
This Anna plays like a Moira. This is such a common issue for Silver. Fair enough. I hear you. I hear you, Gamebuster.
Take your Heal up. I will keep you here. Watching your back. This is going to work.
We don't want to be this close again. So like here we are.
What? I will keep
Here you are.
here.
I don't know why we're trying to push a Reinhardt. That Reinhardt was clearly backing up too. No need to sleep that. Now your Winston's going, now you can follow your team in if you want. Sure.
Watching your back.
Pocketing the Mercy during the res, fine. Don't need to go this way. Our Winston's shown and we can see through walls that he's up here. So we could try to heal this Sigma, whatever, but we could also just be like, oh, I guess I'll take a shot at this Orisa. Oh, I'll see what's going on up here. Like, we don't really need to be this interested in this path. Oh, you're in front of your Sigma. No, thank you. No, thank you.
This is going to
You do
hurt.
not need to get close to use nades. You know what a better nade would be? A better nade would have been back up here onto this group over here. Now, in this case, it's just Moira, but there's been people over here. A better nade would have been to support your Winston when he was up here trying to zap people. It gets him, it gets the people he's trying to zap, helping him turn them into eliminations. That would have been a better nade. Guys, we're doing it. We're sending the support team of Mercy and Anna on a flank to go get control. Leap, leap.
You're going to.
So, like, just assume that if you're here and your tanks are both behind you, you're wrong. Just assume that that's the case and fix it. I think he's closing the distance to not take long shots. I think that's true for the ability usage, definitely. I don't know if it's true for the aim. Like, the aiming of the abilities. I don't know if it's true for the aiming of the weapon yet. But it's quite possible.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
That's just not a high probability sleep. Like, the Reinhardt shield is up before you press the button. Doesn't look to me like he's about to swing. There's no one directly in front of him in swing range. He doesn't have a strong impetus to swing right now.
Much better.
Sure.
Heroes never die. Darithida.
No, back, not out
Get
here,
in there.
not out here. We can perfectly happily stay here, turn and sleep the Echo, use this as cover if we want. We don't need to be like, I'm right behind my Sigma as my Sigma's going in. That's not a thing that we need to do. I like her nano target. I can live with it. Winston's obviously better, but
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
the nano selection is not on the top of the list of problems right now.
Group up at my position. I will keep you here.
Time for making fun. Oh, we have to get this thing moving again.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Okay. Good nade. Now, it's a little unfortunate that, you know, your team wasn't really ready to push and such, and your Winston was already low health and wanted to leave. But, hey, we hit a nice multi-person nade. I'd like to hit more of those from a distance like you did there. Sure, you can heal, Bob. You could rotate now, or you could stay here. Not out here. Okay.
60 seconds.
So, again, this is just too crowded. I know you're not going to get a nade through here, even before Sig moved all the way in. It's just too crowded. There's too much going on. Instead, you think about going through these doors and hitting your nade from an angle. So your team is pushing this way, and you hit your nade from an angle on the side of them as they're sort of backing up, paying attention to your team, less so to this angle that you can create. Anna gets her abilities off primarily, not by getting closer to enemies, but by taking angles against enemies relative to her team.
This will help. ناخد بالي منك.
Why would they use high ground? It's only like the most important thing on Gibraltar. It's silver, Game Buster. It's gonna happen sometime. Yeah, someone's up on high ground. Two, in fact. We've got some high grounders. We've got a couple high grounders. I bet blue team's gonna win.
back.
Activating the barrier.
I will keep you. Heroes never die.
Okay.
Hail, Demogorgon.
Back, back, back. No, you don't walk into that to sleep. You back out, and if they round the corner on you while you're retreating, you might have to sleep. But you don't try to force your way into that when your Sigma's already eliminated. Sleep. Cool. Keep leaving. Keep leaving.
Winston.
You were never going to eliminate that Reinhardt. Not with the friends that you had here. Namely, Just Mercy. Or that Reinhardt, yeah. Yep. Sadly, it didn't totally work out for them this fight, because the Echo was fighting them for the high ground with some Mercy help.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
So they're not completely abandoning high ground, at least on second.
Go. I should be here.
Payload and rest.
Don't do this.
Go.
I know they're all low
should be
health,
here.
but as far as you know, they're in no danger. So let's not spend our nade. Let's just heal them up normally.
Get
This
here.
is a 10-second, excuse me, this is a 10-second cooldown that I expect you, I don't expect, that you may end up wanting back. Now your team is going to be ready to go in faster. In fact, they're going to be ready to go in so
Nano
fast
ready to
that, look at
deploy.
this, they're going in and you can't contribute nade for another 5 seconds. But what if you want to be throwing a nade on, I don't know, that McCree up there, on the tank line over here, right now, as your team is going in? That's a problem.
You're
Okay.
powered up. Get in there.
I don't know what the comms look like here. I really don't. But you have to commit yourself as
You're
Nana,
powered up. Get in there.
not to hitting Nano here, but to hitting Nano here. You have to. You don't nano people to tell them to go in. You nano them when they're already going in. You do this for a couple reasons, because one of them is that sometimes you'll just be wrong and you'll be trying to tell someone to go in and they don't have the cooldown to go in, so that's bad. But another reason that you end up doing it is when you use ults, excuse me. When you use ults, what ends up happening is the opposing team will frequently react to you using ults by going, you're using ults to push us. We don't like that. So we are going to kite backwards. We're going to leave. We're going to go behind cover. We're going to back out, whatever the case may be. That's generally something that happens. And you've probably noticed this. Sometimes when the opposing team uses a nano, you see your Reinhardt backs off. Or when they use a sound barrier, you see your team backs off. Or when the opposing team uses blade, you and your team maybe try to run away. Those are probably things that you've noticed. That's a pretty normal reaction, and the reaction starts when they hear the ult. However, the opposing team isn't going to run away as hard just from a Winston jumping at them. So what you want to do is you want to delay their reaction by nanoing him after he's already committed. And this is pretty safe, especially with a Winston, because your nano now recovers a bunch of health to your Winston. So even if you're a touch late with your nano and it's not right as he's jumped, as he's traveling through the air, it's instead after he's landed, that's worse, but it's still going to be better than what you did, better than pre-nanoing him, because, hey, they're going to react slower to it, because, oh shoot, now there's an ult in their face. That's not what they expected. They're going to be slower to react to that, and your Winston will get healed to health, unless he gets purpled or something. So you're good. Should Ana be on high ground? Yeah, Ana should have rotated through high ground, but even in high ranks, they're pretty bad about that unless they get eliminated. You got Nano as Diva just when you self-destructed? Yeah, that happens. It was too late to register, you got Nano. All good, all good. I sometimes nano to force the guy to make a play guilty. Don't do it. It's a bad habit. It's a bad habit.
I'm feeling unstoppable.
You're powered up. Get in there.
So you could walk this way to get the nade off. You could. That's an option. But what if you just walked over here instead and then dropped the nade? Look at how easy and open this path is. Instead, you do this, and yeah, they're distracted by your Nano Winston, so it's relatively safe. But why work this hard? I was afraid of that. Ha! You didn't even barrier dance him, he missed. Okay. Because he was aiming at other people who did get barrier valid. We don't like that nade. Your Winston was fine. You could have slow healed him. 3 ults. They did.
Get back.
Just stay further away from her. Like, it's annoying, but you can just stay over here. Like, this team is not going to push in and fight you over here. So you just stand over here and go, she's further away, she does less damage. If she wants to come get you, she has to blink out, where she no longer has the high ground to retreat to, without recall. That's not a high probability sleep at all. Okay.
Thank you.
Mega, 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 mega. Huh.
Nap time.
Yeah, it's not there. Hog got it.
Watching your back.
Check on the mega again. Check on the mega. Good.
Patched up.
Adaptive circuit engaged. Winston.
Temp, what did you all do all night to be tired? I mean, I did watch a movie last night, but yeah. You were too far forward during this fight. Now it's kind of a mess. Good nade, but you're still too close to get that nade. Like, I like that you got the nade, but you just shouldn't be here in the first place. Question, does Temporal have any idea why comp games from the weekend tend to be worse?
I wasn't cut out for retirement anyway.
They're different. I mean, remember, if the quality of the pool gets worse, the quality of the pool gets worse on both sides. So, like, that's not strictly bad, but yes, it is different. What the quality of the type of comp games you'll get on a weekday morning are different than a weekday evening, are different than, and you know, the daytime weekends are going to be different than weekday daytime. Like that is all going to work because you have different people playing. People who maybe it's school, maybe it's, you know, types of work that are 9 to 5 type things where they're more or less stressed by them, but it does change. And I'm not strictly going to say it's better or worse, though I think most people would probably say that, yeah, your quality on like weekdays in the morning is going to be some of the highest quality comp. But assuming that there's enough people in it to get you matches, it can get worse because it can have to do spreads in terms of there's not enough people playing, so the SRs spread out a little bit. But in terms of who's playing and, you know, less people who are just like, I'm here, I want to frag, etc. Which, you know, that's life. You get a little more of the I'm here, I want to frag, I just want to play video games, etc. type thing when most people who are playing are making an active decision to do so and have a schedule that allows them to do that and are not the, hey, they're in school from 8 to 4, they're at work from 9 to 5, that sort of thing. Days of the week vary as well, yes. The slow, lulling pace of silver matches can make one sleepy. True, true. But your day of the week also probably changes what you do, GameBuster. Like, you also are probably different on different days of the week. You're probably more rested on maybe a Sunday or a Monday and less rested on Thursday, for example, or a Wednesday. Like, that's not weird. Or maybe you constantly have a project that's a little more stressful as a every week thing at work on Tuesdays, but then Wednesdays are good because it's behind you. Like, you change too. It's over. Once it's gone, don't push.
Someone get that payload moving. Get back. Your power's out. Get
Okay. Don't get close, don't get close, don't get close.
Your power's out. Get in there.
Ask yourself, Is this correct? You're here. Your Winston is here. Your Sigma's back here. Now, you get a little bit of credit because at least you're not in front of your Winston. You're on a different angle than your Winston. And if you were like playing from here, no problem. Even if you got aggressive and went up a little bit to here, I could potentially live with it because, like, again, you're playing a different angle than your team. But, like, this, you're just too close, and you know this. You know you shouldn't be here. You don't have to get this close to drop the nade. You can drop the nade from back here just fine, still get it over past the Reinhardt, have it go explodey right there, and have it splash and get both of them, maybe even get your Winston. Like, this is more aggressive than you need to be. Stop getting this close.
Get them.
Like, remember, you have a sniper rifle. You have a sniper rifle. You're not supposed to get close to the opponent. Some days I'm really tired and do really good, and maybe it's got you the right level of tired for the perfect state of mellow. Right amount of tired, yeah, yeah.
Reload in three. Barrier up.
Okay.
Excuse me.
We could have rotated for high ground. Then please don't get this close. Why? Why do you walk so close to these fights? There's nades. Nades to be had. Yes. Don't walk close. Don't walk close. Like, you're like wanting to brawl it up in melee range with them, and your character has a sniper rifle. You don't do that. Sometimes the fight comes to you because there's divers, and like, okay, you're gonna get in melee range with Genjis, Tracers, Winstons. They came to you. Fine. You wanted to punish them to make them earn getting close enough to you to do that. So be it. Sometimes you're walking in to finish off a fight that's like a 6v2 or 5v2, just cleaning it up. Fine. But those should be the situations when you're close to the enemy. You shouldn't be getting close to these enemies just to like get your sleeps off, just to get your nades off, just to make aiming easier, just to make aiming at your team easier. None of that nonsense. None of that. Stay further back. You have a sniper rifle for a reason. Yes, I'm going to keep emphasizing this point. That doesn't mean you have to play from Narnia, but you do have to play mid-range at least.
Flattered, really.
Yeah, you set up way back and you can see everything. You don't have to set all the way back by the mega high ground, but yeah. But yes, you can heal from there forever and you can see over the payload if you do set up there. If you can find a window and use the time to rotate up there.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
You're covered.
That's a lot of healing onto a target that's not taking damage. Like, you were emptying your clip. Now, these heals make sense, but you spent a lot of ammo emptying your... No. Emptying your clip on shots that didn't make sense. No, 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 no! You don't finish that off. You let your team deal with it or it wakes up. But, like, you don't know what's around that corner. Nade. Nade. Please don't be here. This is better. Okay. Heal the Kree. Heal the Kree. You don't need to eliminate the Doomfist. You need to keep the Kree alive. If you get a shot into Kree, then you're pretty comfortable he's going to live and you can start shooting at the Doomfist. But your shots do more total points of impact if you put them on... If, like, someone has room to get healed a full shot worth of health, and someone has room to take a full thing of damage and not get eliminated, like, it's not going to be overhealing from the heals and it's not going to be the elimination from the damage, the heal is usually better. Just because it's a different... Like, you literally heal for more than you hurt with her weapon. That's not saying never take offensive shots. Offensive shots are amazing, and pressure shots to make people leave so that you can heal your team can be useful. But with how Doomfist works, with his damage breakpoints, his combos...
Prove myself.
Oh, now we're going to play some Brig? Okay.
I could have used
Are
some
you
of
just
your
taking
muscles
Brig from
already.
the other person, or do you think Brig is the right play here? Is this a you're unhappy with the other person who was playing Brig?
Poor Winston has to
Huh.
hide away so he doesn't scare the children.
I don't even think children are afraid of you.
Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Escort the
Repair pack? Repair pack! No. Single repair pack. Not triple. We threw one repair pack at him as he was going in, and then a couple seconds later we threw a second repair pack if he was still missing health. Sure. Okay, I don't care about your Brig. I mean, we could talk about your repair packs longer, because that was wrong, but, like, you didn't really play Brig for a meaningful amount of time. What we care about is your Anna.
ready for battle.
And the solution to your Anna is to get further away. Sniper rifle. Sniper. We like mid-range. We can play long range. Close range sometimes happens, and we're not helpless at it, but we're not going, oh, aiming at people is hard, so let me get close. Oh, I want to get close so I can hit my nade easier, so I can hit my sleep easier, so I can hit my shots easier. No. I don't mind if you miss shots, if you miss sleeps. I can live with that. That's totally fine. You're going to miss some shots, but you actually have to challenge yourself. You have to be reaching for those shots that are a little trickier for you from further away to get better at them. Like, you have to go, hey, I'm pushing myself a little bit. You don't have to strictly do it, but like that will help. So like I want you to really focus on thinking where you should play from. And where you should play from is going to be places like, hey, could I play from here defensively? That would be amazing. Could I play more from here defensively and less from here if I don't have time to rotate? That would be amazing. Could I play from here defensively? Here defensively? That would be amazing. So we're going to turn this into two things for you to work on. Two things for you to work on. Could I play from here defensively until they get close and then maybe back off and play from here or here? Oh, I bet I could. Offensively, could I play from here while my team pushes this way? Yes, I could. So here's the things I want you to work on. First thing first, I want you to create distance between you and the team fight. I want that to be your default. There are specific comps where you'll break that rule, specifically comps that start diving you really hard, sending a lot of flankers at you, where you'll start playing a little closer to your team. But in general, I want you to work on creating distance between you and your opponents, you and your team. Use the fact that you're a sniper. That doesn't mean you constantly have to scope in for shots, though it's fine if you do, but it does mean that you should not be just running into fights. Don't just run into fights to try to dump your ability. So we're playing from further away. We're not running into fights to dump our abilities into them. We can take angles to dump our abilities into them. So that's the first thing I want you to work on, staying further away until the fight is like clearly won, unless stuff just shows up on top of you. And work through that, keep that in mind, make that a mental focus for like 5 to 15% of your brain power, maybe for like somewhere between 5, 10, 25, 30 games, whatever it takes. Maybe it's 50 games, maybe it's 5 games, I don't know, but whatever it takes to sort of lock that in as your autopilot to actively form this new habit. For each person, it's different how long and how much focus it takes to form the habit, but like 5 to 15% of your brain power, play games like that while keeping it in focus for you until it sticks that you want to stay further away. Then we're going to get to like where should you actually be playing. So like further away is good, but like we need to understand where. Well, we should be playing high ground if we can. High ground is great. High ground could be pretty good. High ground could be pretty good. High ground could be pretty cool. High ground is nice. I don't know about you, but I like me some high ground. High ground is pretty cool. So like high ground is good and distance is good. So like this where to play thing. And then we get into, well, how do we use our abilities? Well, we use our abilities from angles if we can. Because now I'm forcing you to be further away, and you might start being like, I'm not getting enough value into the match. I'm just not doing enough. I'm not accomplishing enough for my team because I'm not getting sleep grenade value anymore. Well, the solution to that is, again, angles. If your team is holding like this, and the opposing team pushes out and fights them here, well, you have a bit of an angle from here. So you're a little more likely to get that nade over the Rein shield, past the defense matrix. The Hog's not going to be looking at you when you throw the Hog in there because he's looking at your team. So like high ground helps, but also these slight angles help. And if you're like healing your team from here and then you want to get an ability off, you can heal your team, heal your team, heal your team, rotate, get your nade off or get your sleep off, and then sort of rotate back if you want. If you're in this situation where, again, you're pushing into this team and you're trying to fight and your Reinhardt's up here and you're trying to heal him from back here with your cover, etc. And you find, hey, my Reinhardt's got 400 and 450 health. Let me drift over here real quick and dump this nade in the side to surprise the enemy Reinhardt that he's going into to get both Reinhardts. And then I can slide my way back here and go back to healing. I might not have to slide back here because this might drive the team back hard enough that my Reinhardt can now round the corner and push. So like we want to stay further away. We want to use high ground, and we want to rotate to angles to get our abilities off, not just get closer. This all dovetails, ties together with a pretty bow, nice and easily for you. And I'm intentionally doing that. I'm intentionally relating all of these points to each other. So you need to go, hey, distance, height if available, won't always be available, angles for abs abilities. That's what we're looking to do. That's what we want you to do. Please work through these. Don't try to do all these changes at once. You might get a little worse. You might contribute a little bit more as you start to get further away, a little bit less as you start to get further away. So you might play worse. You might lose a little SR while working on this distance thing. I don't care. The reason you're doing so is because you're getting less value out of your abilities by doing so, but you need to do that. And we're then going to fix your abilities by changing the angle that you use your abilities from. You're not going to get close to use them. You can change your angle to get those off, but that'll come later. So it's okay if you lose some SR in the short to medium term. That's not a big deal. Losing SR as you're improving, perfectly normal. So that's what I'm going to give you to work on. If you guys have questions, you can throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. If you would like to see when these things are happening, be able to ask questions yourself in chat, see when we're covering topics maybe on heroes that you're interested, ranks that you're interested in, or just more general topics. I respond to some Reddit stuff. I critique guides sometimes. Sometimes we get into like video game news type stuff. We have a fair bit that we cover here. And if you want to see, hey, what topic's being talked about? Do I want to participate in that? Do I have questions or comments to make on that topic? The best way to do that is in the Discord below. You can become a watcher by going to get notifications and reacting, and then boom, you get pings when these happen in Discord, and you can see if it's something you're interested in participating in. So that would be my recommendation. You can also do the notification bell on YouTube. A little less good, but you can do that. Okay. So let's catch up on chat here, see if they had any questions, comments, etc. My win rate differs per day for some people. My win rate differs per day. Let's call them, quote unquote, the bad people. Oh, okay. There must be a reason. I'm not going to blame the community to be better or worse on some days because that applied to both sides. Right. For you, it's about the moon cycle. Okay. Purple Rain. Yeah, very close in offense. Adam Nicholas is here to say temporal equals bad coach. Okay. You are welcome to share your feelings, Adam. Listened to me and said, okay. Let's see what Adam's got to offer us today. I don't talk about boring stuff like angles and etc. I talk about the important stuff like mechanics Angles and positioning are things for people who miss shots and can't click heads. Okay, okay. I see where Adam is. The real key is to go, and this is what coaches do. They go, hey, who's got the good mechanics and how can we make them better? And it's almost always strategy. It's faster to teach people strategy than it is to teach them mechanics, truth be told. So people either can have good mechanics because it's sort of a natural thing for them, or they can earn good mechanics, but earning good mechanics doesn't really have shortcuts. Whereas you can, in a more focused, more dedicated, more fast in a faster way work to improve on these concepts, on these angles, on these positioning. And Adam's trolling, so I don't mind. I don't actually need to defend this or anything, but just because it is an interesting topic, this is why you see things like Al coaches go, oh, win tier 2? Well, the way to win in contenders is to just go find the mechanical gods and just throw them all on a team and then, just try to coach them to be good. And you see that happening in Overwatch, you see that happening in Valorant, you see that as the current meta philosophy for coaching right now in the first person shooter scene, I would say. And I'd say I mostly agree with it. There's definitely some way to... Oh, we have a super chat for Adam Nicholas coming in for $2 saying Temporal sucks. Thank you, Adam Nicholas, for the $2 super chat that says Temporal sucks. I'd mostly agree with the philosophy that's mostly in play right now from that coaching standpoint. It is generally faster to get the ones who are mechanically very, very good and improve them. Now, you're not actually going to be able to improve all of them, and there are some where you have to go, okay, maybe we can't do it, but if you're going, hey, we have to take some risks, and you're always taking risks when you're working with prospects, that is mostly a sensible risk to take. But again, there are, some mechanical people who just aren't going to learn strategy very well, timing very well, etc. That was for you, Adam. Or but there's also people who aren't mechanical gods, are very slow to build mechanically, or just don't get to a very good mechanical point. But at certain points in the game's life cycle, especially early, they can be amazing to have on a team because they just make the whole team around them better with their attitude, with their leadership, with their understanding of the game before other people have it, with their in-game shot calling, with their ability to mentally reset a team that's struggling, all that stuff. Okay. If you guys have any more questions, you can throw them up now. Distance equals flankers become scary, though. Okay. Yeah, I think that one's going to do it for now. I think I'm going to do another session after this. It may take me 5 to 10 minutes to set it up because I think I want to make a thumbnail from it because I think we're going to cover a news story rather than another review next. But I will see you all soon. If you're waiting for it to go live, the best way to get that is to in the Discord. You can go in there, react to get notifications, and you'll get the ping when I go live in the next 5 to 10 minutes. You have to adjust your distance depending on what they're running. That is true. Okay. I'll see you guys in a bit.